Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. I'm your host, Larry Caution, joined as I am each and every week by co-host Calvin Thomas. And yeah, that's it. It's just us. It's just us tonight. We're happy that you joined us. We are running just us two tonight. Justin Harris is not with us, but he's with us in spirit, and he'll be back next week. But the show must go on. Typically, we try to make sure we hit every week with all three of us. And even last week, I pushed through. Y'all saw me on the road. I'm back in the studio this week, doing the best I can to give you the correct. Everything's tight tonight, guys. We're gonna give you the best show we got. Again, Justin will be back next week, so if you're looking for him, be sure to stick around. Even though, Calvin, what's going on with you, man?
It's the post 40 show.
I feel like
man, my takes have matured.
Yes. Since our last podcast, we have both crossed over. You know what I mean? And things have changed. We older and wiser. The Leo gang is here, 25th and 26th of July.
Yeah. Celebrating for the rest of the Leo season.
Still everybody always say, did you and Calvin get close because y'all birthdays right near each other? I don't know. It might have been part of it, but like the initial, we clicked from
that was the icing on top. That was the cherry on top.
It's funny. I was in Vegas last week, and I was thinking about, remember our first Vegas trip? That was like the second year I knew you.
Look. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago. We sitting on the Vegas Strip, 3:00 in the morning, smoking cigars.
20 years ago, you think about it. That's
hey, boy, we was young pups back then. But man, I hope you enjoyed your birthday.
You as well.
Yeah, man. But the show must go on. Let's get into some business. We got a lot to cover tonight. We appreciate you all tuning in. Be sure share that live. Let the people know that we on. Calvin and Larry on tonight talking football, basketball. We got some topics to cover. But since we've been on, last week's show was very unique. We recorded on Thursday night. It was weird timing, one might say, because we even said it. Not a lot going on right now. But we led the show with, where's LeBron James going to go?
Yeah.
And, everybody went out of the room. Their final assessment.
Nobody had it right.
Calvin said Cleveland. Justin said Miami. I said, I'm leaning. At the end of the day, I think he's going back to Cleveland. In the end, nobody had it correct because we were stunned to find out just the very next day after we recorded our podcast. Thank you, LeBron. Made us have a whole week. That LeBron James is now a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. That's right. LeBron James made his third and quite frankly could be final decision. Shit, this is his fourth decision. Yeah, because he was at
fourth. He went to Miami,
Cleveland, LA, and now Philadelphia. Yeah. And he joins another storied franchise. This the franchise with Dr. J, Charles Barkley, even though we don't really talk about that. And then the great Allen Iverson led this team. And then the project that has been going on forever with Joel Embiid, trust the process that never has ended. Well, we'll see. Will LeBron be able to get the best out of this process? Will the Philadelphia 76ers finally win an NBA title? That is the question. We will see. Calvin, what's your thoughts? LeBron leaving your Los Angeles Lakers to go to Philadelphia.
You know what's crazy? When he said he was dropping hints, and then at Fanatics Fest, I think we might have mentioned this last week, he said, trust the process. And we kind of just like, that can't be it. I'm not saying I'm surprised, but it's a whole new team. But it's the best situation to win a title, I think, as currently constructed. And the rumors are that Drew Holiday's coming as well, so you get another experienced guard. But I think that's really it. It's the best situation to win a title. I think there's more questions about Cleveland, about Miami, about Minnesota, and I think Denver's in the West. And I think it was ultimately between Philly and Golden State. And if Golden State couldn't improve their rosters, why not go to the team with the best roster that I don't have to do as much? You don't have to be a ball handler with Maxey. You don't have to guard the best person of the team. That's going to be Jaylen Brown's job. You don't really have to be that stretch, hitting clutch, hitting threes. That's going to be VJ Escombe, and you got a big man to paint. It's the perfect situation as currently constructed. Now, the health is the big factor with Embiid, so that's going to be the great equalizer. But it's the best situation to try and win a title. And I think in the East, where the East is improved, however, there's still questions about every team. It's the best situation. And I'll say this: look, we can talk about this week offline, but we could take a trip up 95 to Philly. It's 2 hours.
I told Kenya that. I said, hey, this is the closest LeBron ever been to me. You know what I mean? Like,
it's his last year or so. I gotta see him a couple times. So look, I'm gonna make a couple trips up to Philly.
We will make a way. Like I said, he played in Cleveland. Was driving to Cleveland to see LeBron. And you go to DC, that's one thing, but that's a road trip. We talk home games.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to Miami regularly, wasn't going to LA. But Philly, right up the road, I think come on. If he does do the 2 years, we got 2 years to get it in. But if this is it, we got to make a point for 100%. I don't care if they play in Sacramento. You know what I mean?
They got 41 home games. You got a couple games in DC. You got a couple games in Brooklyn, a couple games in New York. There's 50 games right there. There's no reason you can't make it.
This decision for me, and we talked about this weeks ago. Could he possibly go to Philly? And we like, nah, that's just that's a cheat code. That's a cheat code. They don't do that. But honestly, if we look at this from what is LeBron's goal? Okay.
Yeah.
If his goal was just to be sentimental, let's end it with a storybook ending. Go back home to Cleveland.
Yeah.
May not win a title, but hey, I finished it at home. Okay, that's his choice. If his goal was money, I'm sure there was a team out there who would have paid him top dollar if that's what his goal was.
Yeah.
If his goal was to challenge himself and possibly play with Steph. Hey, we might not win, but it'd be fun to play in Golden State, stay close to home, don't have to move. Family in LA can go to San Francisco on a jet, whatever. But if you want to win, and if we don't know nothing about LeBron by now,
he want to win.
He wants to win.
Yeah.
You don't play this long and at this higher level if you don't love this game. And that's where we're going to bring this up later, but that's why I take issue with some people who are questioning why he doesn't need this. This guy's a billionaire. His name is on the list already. He's still playing.
The $8 million of the contract.
Other names on that list.
They made that back in jersey sales already. It ain't about the money.
The way that this man moves the needle at 42 years old is something to be studied. I've never anybody who wants to act like, he's old and washed and he don't matter. Go back to last Friday again when this news broke, and you look at the reaction. You look at all I was out in Vegas. Everywhere you went, it was talked about. I'm telling you, it took over this. Everybody was talking about this. Damn, oh my God, the guy moves the needle. And like you say, jersey sales, ticket sales. What are you going to do for the business in Philadelphia? They going to make so much money in that city. Yeah. I was talking to a guy, shout out to Steve Selecki, revenue manager at the hotel in Philadelphia. He's like, man, we about to be making bank. He said, I'm so glad I'm back in the Philly market now. Because they live off of Eagles football. You know what I mean? And that's only weekends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 9 weeks a year.
Yeah.
But basketball, 41 games, like you said, that's during the week.
Weekends. weekend trips.
He is pumping lifeblood into that city. Again, could he have gone back to Cleveland? Of course. Could he have gone back to Miami, play with Giannis? Yes, 100%. But just if you're looking at it from a basketball perspective, you put these guys together. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect fit, but the reports are LeBron might play point guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dog, I was looking at it and I'm thinking about the different lineups because I threw that question out to you. I said, who you sitting? Who you putting on the bench? Like you said, put them all at the same time. I'm like, I do think there are some nights that you could stagger this lineup.
Of
you know
course.
what I mean? You don't need everybody out there at the same time all the time. I think there's a way to make this make sense where you can start Maxey some nights at the point. LeBron can do like for the big games. Crunch time, LeBron should be at the point. You know what I mean? Like fourth quarter, game on the line, he should be the guy making the decision who's getting the ball. But you cannot underestimate that Jaylen Brown trade.
No.
Like they traded away Paul George for like you got Jaylen Brown for an all-star. I mean, for nothing. Like you gave away Paul George and got back Jaylen Brown, and that lured LeBron James.
Yeah. If Jaylen Brown's not there, you can make the argument LeBron's not there either. Like you can. That's a strong argument to make, and I don't think he's there either because there's too many questions about that roster.
Exactly.
But now I get a young, one of the best two-way players in the league. I got a young point guard in a guard-driven league. I got a young DJ Edgecombe that's going to learn from all these guys, and I got a former MVP that, hey, look, big fella, I need you 50 games this year. I want you healthy in April. I'm not saying they win the title, but it makes it interesting, especially in the East.
I'm not even going title right now, and I know that's where everybody want to go. Should they on paper? Yes, but we know the history of Joel.
Yeah, of course.
I just can't bank on Joel Embiid. But I think those four can give you a run. They can give you a run.
Yeah.
They can give you a run.
I mean, the bench is not bad either.
It's not horrible. It's not horrible. And I heard about the Drew Holiday thing. If they get him,
you got Anthony Simons.
That's cheating at that point.
You got KCP, and you got is it Dean Wade or
Dean Wade from
Dean Wade. And you get Drew Holiday, you're 9 deep without a center. Like if you can get a decent backup center,
you need a center. Yeah,
you gotta get a backup center.
I love it if they kept Andre Drummond. You know what I mean? Like
he got money from New York, up too much money from New York, I believe.
So. I don't blame him for that. But I'm just saying, like from a pure talent perspective, I see what LeBron was looking at. Look, I'm not 35. I'm not 38. I'm 42. But y'all still, when you see that name, when you see that, you know, that person, you still think of him as he's a premier guy. He don't need all that help. So it takes me to what Charles was talking about, LeBron stacking his team. Okay, if you want to say LeBron stacked his team in Miami, yeah, we all know he stacked his team in Miami. Of course he did. I mean, that was the goal.
We had discussion.
They wanted to play together. Okay. Say LeBron stacked his team when he went to Cleveland. Did he? Because I remember he went back and that team sucked. They went and got Kevin Love. Don't get me wrong. But Kevin Love was okay. When they went and made that trade for JR. And,
that was during the season.
Yes, during the season. And that put them over the top. That's to compete with Golden State, who was already loaded.
Yeah.
So, yes, they did what they had to do. When he went back to LA, if you want to say he did what he did to get AD, okay. Shouldn't he want a running mate? Shouldn't he want somebody to play
after they missed the playoffs his first year?
So, but this to me, you're saying LeBron stacking his team. He's 42 years old.
Completely agree. I completely agree.
He's a role player.
Completely agree.
But the fact he's so great that you still look at him like he's in his prime and he shouldn't need all that help. That's the greatness of LeBron James. Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta really. And I listened to him and Stephen A. Then I listened to him and I hate Stephen A. So I couldn't bear it but too long. Then I hear him and Dan Patrick, and I was proud of Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick pushed back on him, like, hold up, man. That guy's 42 years old. You're looking at him. Are we comparing him to when Melo went and joined up with teams at the end? When Vince Carter, when all these greats, older, very good players, that's what you
when
do.
They joined
you
up.
go hang on for a little bit. See what happens. You turn into a role player coming off the bench. Is anybody expecting LeBron James to come off the bench in Philadelphia?
No.
They talking about not only is he not coming off the bench, they talking about starting him at the point guard.
Hey,
what are we doing?
Well, that's the expectation you have of a 40-year-old that you still think he's in his prime, that he's the player he was 10, 15, 20 years ago. That's a testament to his greatness.
We just watched a team get rid of Chris Paul, who I thought had a solid year in San Antonio, if not a good year the year before. They got rid of him the next year and said, man, we don't even want you on the team.
You know what's crazy? We just watched LeBron as a 41-year-old win a playoff series
on his own
as the best player on the team with no Luka and no Reeves. They got swept in the second round, of course. But who expected them to win that series convincingly with LeBron being the best player on the team?
Against young players, against young talent. Let's not, KD wasn't it. KD's an older player too. We're talking about the young talent for Houston that was on the court, and LeBron did what he did.
And who was on? Who was he playing? Who was he playing with? DeAndre Ayton,
a couple of bag of shells. Guys is all over the place now. Also Rans. Anyway, I like the team. Was this what if I was LeBron and I'm in this age of my life? Hell yeah, I'm gonna make the same decision. Like I say, I mean,
make it easy.
I'd have went to Denver. I'd have went, you know what I mean? Either way, no matter where he went, you would have said the same thing. Oh, he tried picking a good team. Duh. Like,
ain't that the point?
If he teams up with Giannis, you talk, you got to team up with Giannis. If he teams up with Steph, you got to team up with Steph. If he teams up with Joker, if he teams up, you know what I mean? Anthony Edwards.
If he teams up with Wemby.
Whatever decision, when he was with Luka, what did y'all say? He the third option between him and behind Luka and AR. Like, no matter what he did at this age of his life, it's going to be viewed a different way. So that tells me y'all just want him to retire, go off into the sunset, and then y'all ain't got to talk about him no more. And these old, washed, bitter players like Paul Pierce and you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Come on, keep it a buck. If y'all can still do it, you be out there too.
Especially y'all of those like Paul Pierce and Charles Barkley that have one or less rings.
And think you really, in your heart of heart, you think you got more. You heard Charles say, LeBron ain't got no dog in him. Okay. He must got something in him. Like he had more dog 4 times than you did. Because he got 4 of them things. That's all we can say, man. It just annoys me. It really annoys me when guys who are less than me want to talk shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, if Jordan want to say that, that's one thing. Kobe want to say that. Hey, have at it. Tim Duncan, have at it. But you, even Shaq give props to LeBron. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. And because Shaq was ring hunting. Shaq said, I'll go anywhere. Yeah.
Went from Cleveland to Boston to
Phoenix. Anywhere it take. Damn right. Anyway, shout out to LeBron. Do your thing. We'll see you in Philly, buddy. Let's get on to this NFL because we got a lot to cover tonight. So last week we tried to make some ground up and catch back up on our season preview. But we do have a lot of teams that we want to cover. Remember, our goal was to do 4 every week leading up to the season. This week is beginning of August, so the countdown is on. And we want to have that extra week just to do a preview of everything leading up to the NFL season. So we got a big jumbo night tonight. We're going to do 8 teams tonight. That's right, 8 previews tonight. Let's get into some of these. So first up on the docket, a team we're going to preview for 2026 is the Washington Commanders. The Commanders had a hell of an offseason. in many ways. Why am I saying they had a hell of an offseason? Because they pretty much didn't do much at all. One of the biggest things they went out and got Adafe Owe, former Raven, former Los Angeles Charger. He was able to come. They were able to pick him up. They went out and got, some help in the draft. But as far as big time free agents, Owe was pretty much it for them. Went out and got the tight end, Okonkwo, who used to play for the Tennessee Titans, I believe. But they lost some key players as well. Bobby Wagner, who's been a standout for them at linebacker the last few years, who's holding on by a thread, who still was able to give them some production. He's out of there. They lost Zach Ertz. Jonathan Allen, who's been a stalwart at defensive tackle for them, he's out of there. But they're getting Jaden Daniels back, hopefully healthy this season. He was shaky last year, and in sophomore, a lot of people called it a sophomore slump. We'll see if he's able to bounce back in year two. Terry McLaurin, the Debo's gone, so that big move didn't work out for them.
I was getting ready to say that he just signed San Francisco again.
Oh, he did? Okay. Yeah. So we'll see what they're able to do in the off season. I mean, in the upcoming training camp to see what they work out for us, because I heard they've been having some questions about who's going to be the starting running back. I thought they had some different flashes last year, but nothing for secure. So we'll see what they do with these draft picks, who they were able to pick up. And Rachaad White was actually added from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What kind of rotation will he be put in? We'll see. But overall, a lot of the experts project them to go 8-9, be middle of the pack, right there in the NFC East. Calvin, just what's your thoughts on what you predict for the Washington Commanders?
I still think there's a lack of talent on this team. That first year, they relied heavily on Jaden Daniels and a soft schedule. And I think that's what allowed them to make to the NFC Championship game. Last year, you're playing a number 2 schedule in your division, and you have a injury to your quarterback, and that just sets you off to the wrong way through your season. I still don't like the running back situation. I still don't like the offense as a whole. I think you can't lose pieces for your young quarterback. The offensive line as well has been kind of up and down. Tunsil at the left tackle has basically been your stalwart. Your only offensive lineman has been playing week in and week out. And the defense, you get Owe as a pass rusher. Hopefully he can be your number one and change that defense. But is it a Mike Minter thing? Like, we saw him come alive in LA last year. He didn't do anything in Baltimore. So is it a scheme? Is it actually him? They actually just pick up some things in LA while with Khalil Mack and while with Bosa. So Bosa wasn't even there. I'm sorry. But I just don't know about this team. I still think there's a lack of talent. Don't really like what they did in the draft either. You're losing a ton of your veterans as well. And I think you're putting too much on Jaden Daniels, and he doesn't have the support system around him. You changed offensive coordinators this year as well, but I still think you need more talent around Jaden Daniels, especially in a division where everyone got better. You can make that argument. Everyone else got better, and you kind of stayed stagnant. So don't really have high hopes for the Washington Commanders. I do think they'll be better this year if they're healthier. But besides that, they haven't really made any improvements to their team, as we talked about. So,
yeah, I agree. I want to see what the health of Jaden Daniels does as well. He got banged up a lot last year. I'm really shaky. Wasn't able to replicate some of the success he had the year prior. He has to be on the field. The best ability is availability a lot of the time. So we'll see. That's a concern. And Dan Quinn's defense is going to have to come. You know what I mean? They're going to have to put everything on the floor. So, again, you went out and got Owe as your big acquisition after what he was able to do in L.A. We'll see if they're able to continue to unlock what he's able to do best, and they're able to bounce back. All right, let's keep moving because we got a lot to cover. Let's go to my team for 2026, 2027 in the NFC East. That's right. I'm talking about the New York Football Giants, led by one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, Coach John Harbaugh, the man who was treated unjustly, unfairly, and shown the back door by an owner who's out to lunch, who doesn't know what he's doing, by a general manager who sneaked him in the back, who threw him under the bus. Every chance he got it. That's right. But John Harbaugh will have this team ready to play. I know a lot of people are saying, Scatterboo's going to break his ankle. He's going to do something stupid. He's going to chuck a beer and choke and then he'll be out for the year. Neighbor's not coming back 100% healthy. They don't know, but from what I saw at training camp, Neighbors was looking kind of good today. When I was looking at the video, hey, I think this team has so much talent on both sides of the ball. Yeah, they lost a few guys in offseason. They lost Dexter Lawrence. They lost Bobby Okereke. But they will replace that with no issue because remember, they went out and got a dude Carter last year because they knew they were going to lose a pass rusher in the offseason. Because, hey, why go pay you when I can go draft somebody and draft your replacement? You can tutor him for a year, and then next year, here we go. And I think Abdul Carter's going to have a breakout year. I wouldn't be shocked if he's in the running for sack leader this season in the NFL. I'm excited. I'm stoked. He went out and got an Isaiah Likely to go with Jackson Dart. You know, the best friend of a young quarterback is a good tight end. He didn't have one last year. And you get a Neighbors back healthy with an Isaiah Likely. You know how much athleticism that is out there? They're going to have a good time. They're going to gel together with that running game. Cam Scatterboo runs like a maniac. If he's healthy, I don't think he's going to be healthy right away 100%, but I think they're going to ease him in. I'm excited, man. They have a good running game. They have more than one running back. I like what they did on defense. I like what they did on offense. I'm excited for this team. Now, I don't have them winning the division or anything like that, but I think this team is going to be primed for a good first year under Harbaugh, and then next year is when we can expect big things from this team. I like the Giants not to win the division, like I said. Could they compete for a wild card? Will they be a tough out on anybody's schedule? Yes. But I like this team. Not going to win the division, but they'll be good in the NFC East. What's your thoughts?
I think the success of this team, if you go back and look at Harbaugh's rookie teams with rookie quarterbacks, is run and his defense. So how healthy is Cam Scatterboo? Can Tyrone Tracy pick up the slack? Can he be a Justice Hill, catch out the backfield, third and 5? This is who you go to. And can that defense play well and get stops? They probably have one of the best pass rushers, a group of pass rushers in the league, and they're young. They still got Brian Burns from Carolina from a couple of years ago. And you got Abdul Carter, you got Arvell Reese now that they drafted this year. And then they added to the offensive line. They got is it Marioga, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what they drafted as well. So they added to the offensive line as well. So you can kind of tell what they want to do. They want to run the ball. They want to not put Jackson down situations where he has to throw. And he also can use his legs as well. I'm not saying he's the most athletic quarterback, but he can get you a 3 and 4 yards when you need to. So
and he can score the red zone.
Correct. And it's all about how well will they run the ball and how well will his defense play. You have Neighbors. If you could kind of bring him back slowly, if he's not 100%, get him 100% and have him be that number one target. And you have Isaiah Likely, who's very sure he's number one pass catching tight end. And I think he's going to get a ton of targets. It's just a matter of, and he has a relationship with Harbaugh as well. So I think it's just a matter of, can they run the ball and can they play defense? And they can win those type of games, then they'll make the playoffs. They'll win 10, 11 games, especially with their schedule. I don't have no doubt about it. But if you're going to rely on Jackson Dart to score 30 or 35 points to win ball games, I think that's where you go wrong. You don't want to put him in that situation.
They got to play
going into this is his second year, correct?
Second year.
Yeah, going to a second year. I understand that this is your franchise, but you still got to bring him along a little bit slowly. And I think if you're lucky, you get a wild card and you make some noise there, but they have to ease Jackson Dart, and I think that's what Harbaugh is going to do. Is kind of put the pressure on the run game and the offensive line, and then kind of let Jackson Dart kind of develop into his own. I can see them being third in the division. I can see them possibly pushing for a wild card spot. It's just a matter of, can you win those close games, and can you generate turnovers and not turn the ball over? Can you be a Harbaugh team?
I'm very proud of you, Calvin. I'm very proud of you.
I speak the truth.
You was gonna come on here and hate and just try to tear this team down.
I've never said I hated.
Maybe your birthday, crossing over that line, maybe has added a bit of wisdom. I see your white is feeling out.
It's always been the wisdom. It's always,
you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm very proud.
Just because you are a New York Giants fan doesn't mean I'm going to hate on your team.
Hey, I'm a Harbaugh guy. Anyway, but no, I will say health will be the key to this team for sure. Like, they have to stay healthy. They have too many questions about injury. We saw Jackson Dart put himself in harm's way far too many times in year one. We saw what happened to Cam Scatterbull. We saw Neighbors go down. That's field up there in New York is tough. And you heard about that historically, about the injuries that have taken place up on that turf. And you know how Harbaugh, he runs a tough ship, man. Yeah. So health will be the key. I'm going to keep my eye on what's going on up at training camp this summer, because if you hear about a lot of players complaining about getting hurt or getting overworked, then we got a problem. But I love Hobbs, but I want tough players, but you got to have people ready for the season. And not to say that our teams haven't been ready for the season here in Baltimore, because we always expect us to do well. But
they haven't been healthy going to the season.
Some of that is it overworked? Is it, their bodies weren't ready for the workload? I don't know. So we'll see what the Giants are able to do to rebound to that. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys finished last year pretty tough. They had that show of injuries. Overall, I'm going to kick it to you first, Calvin, because this is your team. Give us the outlook of what you saw last year heading into this year 2 of Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach.
I expect to see a continued growth on defense. This is Quinn Williams' first full year as a Dallas Cowboy, and adding to that offensive line. You still got Kenny Clark in the middle. You add a Rashawn Gray as well. I'm sorry, Rashawn Gary from Green Bay as well. And I think this is possibly a team that is not done adding as we get into training camp and towards the regular season. They're still a sneaky guy. That guy out in Vegas, Max Crosby, in my opinion. If they think that they have a better chance, if they think this defensive line can be added to and be a strength of this team from being middle of the pack, I think you'll see that. Because I don't know if I see Pickens on this team going into the year. Like I can see Vegas taking him and trying to make him a number 1 receiver as well. So I think that could be a swap there. But this team has the talent. I think they're improved on defense. Do you add Caleb Downs as well? The best safety in this draft. Someone's going to improve the back end of their defense. You get your secondary healthier than they were last year as well. And then you bring back Bland as well. So I think this is a team that can compete for the division. I think that 10-7 should be the low tier with their record, especially with their schedule this year as well. I think they should compete for the division, but it's going to be health, and it's going to be on the shoulders of Dak Prescott and this run game once again. The run game exceeded my expectations last year with Javonte, with Williams, and Blue. They need to do that again this year. When you have expectations, they need to do that again next year. Take that pressure off of Dak Prescott. The defense will be improved. I like this team to make some noise and possibly win the division, but at worst get a wild card.
My problem with the Cowboys last year, as much as we lauded them and praised them for how high-powered that offense was, the same old thing happened down the stretch. Dak Prescott with those 2 great receivers, they just came up small. Call it what it is. George Pickens was not able to show. He showed up in spots, but Dak wasn't able to get him the ball consistently down the stretch of the season. And then on the other hand, CeeDee Lamb just disappeared. The fumbles, the drops, the drops was bad, man. He had some terrible drops last year, which led me to believe like the whole George Pickens contract situation. Would that be resolved this offseason? What was going to be the outcome of that? Is that going to have an impact on what happens in the season? Is George going to play a certain way? He signed his franchise tag?
Yeah, he signed it early.
On a 1-year deal.
He signed it before the draft because everyone thought he was going to get traded at the draft.
Do you think they'll trade him mid-season, or they'll try to extend him?
I think it'll be before the season. I don't think it's mid-season, because I think if they get rolling, then all of a sudden they'll talk themselves into, if we lose him but we win, it's okay. Because I don't see you're not going to re-sign him. You're not giving CeeDee Lamb money. You're not going to do what Cincinnati did and pay 2 top receivers. So I think it was more so they thought they were going to get more for him in the trade than they did, and they never prepared for life without him, because they just expected we could pick someone up, we could draft someone, and once that time passed, it was kind of like, well, let's just keep him at this point.
My problem is Dak. He, as great as he is, he just comes up small in the big situations, and we saw it again last year. Javonte Williams, as hot as he started, he fell off the cliff down the stretch. Call it what it is. Like, we did not see the same offense replicated in the second half of the season, and that's when you need to be playing your best style of football. Again, I give Brian Schottenheimer all the credit in the world. He exceeded my expectation early on. But then I look at the other side of the football, and I know the move. We talked about this ad nauseum, trading Michael Parsons, and you get other pieces back. You go out and you trade for the big fella in the middle to solidify the interior of that defense. But then I got to question you in the draft. I get it, the Caleb Downs move. We all have talked about that, how great he was in college, and hopefully that will turn out for you. But what did you do at linebacker? Who is the linebacker in the middle? We talked. How many years have we talked about the Dallas Cowboys' inability to stop the run? Have they gotten better there? Will the Kenny Clark trade and pairing him with big fella like that? Will that be enough to? But once you bounce it outside, who your linebackers?
I think you're hoping that your defensive line can eat up those blocks and your linebackers can roll them free, make it easier for them until they get acclimated to the system. I think that's what you're hoping for at this point. Because if you have a great line and you have a great secondary, that's the weakness. But if you can kind of guard against that weakness with your playmakers in the backfield, then that's what you can try to do. At least band-aid on that area this year. So.
Like I say, they got better in some of the moves they made. I'm not saying they didn't get better, but I need to look, man. That's a lot of money going into that offense. It's a lot of money getting paid to your top three guys. You still got a good tight end. You got weapons. Yep. To me, on paper, if you're just saying on paper, this team should win the East. They should. On paper. Especially after Philly traded A.J. Brown, you would think they would take a step back. But I don't know. That might make Philly better. We'll talk about them in a couple weeks when we get to Philly. But on paper, this team should win the East. Unfortunately, history will tell you, I just don't know about what these receivers are going to do down the stretch. I mean, look, I love the Rashawn Gary pairing him with Kenny. Kenny Clark,
and they got history. So
that's a good combination on the D-line. I think the D-line is trying to get back because some of the really good Cowboys teams, that's what they ate off of. You had good D-line. So I'm not knocking that. But you need linebackers to stop the run in this league. That's just the way it is. So if you had to predict how many games they winning?
11.
Wow. 17 game season.
11.
11
I can, if in my mind, I could point to 5 losses, and I'll give you one more. But you gotta split against the Eagles. You gotta sweep the AFC South, which I think you can do. I think they played the
NFC. Can sweep the AFC South.
AFC.
Houston.
I'm sorry. I meant AFC. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You should go 3-1. You should go 3-1. Houston would be a toss up.
Jacksonville ain't bad.
Houston's a toss up.
Jacksonville ain't bad.
I think the problem becomes you play the AFC West. Well, then they only play the Rams. They play Rams 49ers, but yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
That's the problem.
Dogfight. It's gonna be a dogfight. But we'll keep an eye on it. Hey, it's your Cowboys. I know you love them. Next up, the Miami Dolphins. Look, guys.
Ain't much to talk about.
Throw in the towel. Call it a day. They gave up. The fans should give up to you. What in the world? They gave up everybody. Like everybody. I think they held on to. They paid Malik Willis. Like, if I'm Malik Willis, look, I know you've been waiting to be an NFL starter. Take the money and run. But, damn, you couldn't hold out for anything better? They paid A-Chain. A-Chain. Come on, dog. I get it. Don't you want better for your life? Like, maybe you just love living in Miami.
Don't you want better for your life?
But they gave up everybody. Tua Tagovailoa, okay, we can excuse that. Tyreek, we know the injury.
That's your boy.
Jalen Waddle? You trade him to Denver? You got nothing back. Bradley Chubb, all pro. Come on. just too many decisions were made in the offseason. They even remember a couple years ago, they traded for the safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They traded him away.
They traded him.
Yeah, like, bruh, like you gave up. You threw in the towel. But you got Malik Willis. You got Devin Achane. That's a lot of speed. You went out and got you a new head coach. You're trying to save money. You're tanking. Call it what it is. They're trying to play for next year. So if they don't want to spend the time on him, I'm not spending the time on him. What's your thoughts?
I mean, you'll find out if Malik Willis is your quarterback or whether or not you're drafting one next April. Achane, hopefully you can get out of there soon because I don't see this team turn around anytime soon. Potentially the worst team in the league.
Honestly.
I think that's the easiest thing to say.
And the only way, you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. If they so underestimated and they're able to sneak a few people, okay, fine. But on paper, to go where this team was a couple years ago, where they was
where they are now,
prime time, showtime. Remember the big matchup with the Ravens at the end of the season where it was like, this is the matchup of the year, da da da. Yeah. To this, it's actually pathetic.
Yeah.
Next up, the Carolina Panthers. Man, this team is interesting, man. Last year, Panthers, I mean, they had some games where they challenged some guys. They gave teams a run for their money. They made the playoffs. It was
gave the Rams a run for their money.
Hell of a run. Rico Dowdle is no longer there. I was shocked they let him out of the building. Do you think he just wanted too much money or something? Like, remember he ran all over the Cowboys. That was a coming out party.
I mean, I feel like they like Chuba Hubbard and they didn't want to pay him, and it's going to be you're splitting time. They can't pay him number one and you're splitting time. So it probably was a money thing.
But this league is a two-back system league, man. Everybody has two. Like, okay, whatever. You go out there and you really didn't do anything huge. Jalen Phillips, that's a good pickup in the offseason. Other than that, you're just hoping that Bryce Young is going to continue to develop with McMillan. Yeah. You know, hopefully that he, because McMillan was good last year. I thought that he really rose and shine as a true number one for them last year. We'll see if that's able to work. But you losing that 1-2 punch. I thought that running game, and I get it. Chuba, when he's healthy, he's a solid number one. He is. But I just think this team won't be able to replicate that same success that they were able to do last year without that running game. So I need to keep the juries out a little bit. I thought the defense was what really held them down last year.
Yeah.
They were able to stay in a lot of games from a just lockdown perspective. Like you say, they gave the Rams everything they could handle. They beat Tampa Bay. They beat all of Atlanta. They beat all the teams they needed to beat to put themselves in position last year. And they were spoiler for a lot of people too. You know what I mean? Like, so Bryce Young really bounced back last year. We'll see if he's able to replicate that. Remember, he was on his way out of the league in many ways. It's crazy to say that, but Andy Dalton was starting over him. Baker Mayfield was starting over. You know what I mean? Like, wow. And now here we are. What's your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, this is a big year for Bryce Young. This is year 4. This is, look, you got to get your extension this year. You got to prove that you can make the players around you better. You got to prove that you can up with this offense. Even if it's a lack of talent, you have to prove that you can make these players better. It's a big year for them, and you have to build on the success that you had the previous year, whether or not it was a fluke or however everyone looked at you making the playoffs. You have to build upon that if you're going to be a franchise quarterback. The pressure is on Bryce Young, and they did not make as many additions as I would have liked for a young quarterback, but now it's on him to prove that I can make people better. If you get me talent, I can make that talent better. And then that's when you start getting more talent. And that's when the guys around you start believing in you. It's all on Bryce Young. I don't know if that's fair to say, but you cannot take a step backwards. You have to at least compete for your division, compete for a wild-card playoff. If you go 10-7, 11-6, miss the playoffs, I think that's fine because you took a step in the positive direction. But it's all on Bryce Young. It's all on Bryce Young this year.
I would have liked to see them add another offensive weapon, though. If you're going to take away a running back like of that stature, go get me another receiver. Go get me somebody else I can, you know what I mean? Like I just don't understand it. I don't know that salary cap situation.
I
I
think
know
they
they
had.
pay a lot
I
of money
thought
on
they had
that defense.
space.
Say it again.
I thought they had the space because they got rid of Brian Burns and that cap. His cap number came off this year, so I thought they had the space, but I
Who's
think
the
they don't believe in
cornerback they
Bryce
paying
Young.
all that money to? They pay him
J.C.
pretty good.
Horn,
Yeah, they pay
he just
him
got a
pretty
new
good.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, if you want to get the best, and you showed that when you put it all together, you know what I mean. You made a run, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
that NFC South is winnable.
Yeah.
There's no dominant team in that NFC South. I would have went for it. I really would have, but we'll see. Next up, speaking of NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons. Look, guys, y'all know me. I've been running with the Falcons.
Still
When they
running
went
with
and
him.
picked up Kirk Cousins, I said, "Look, this is it, dog. That's the team. Kirk was going to bring this team to the promised land." And he started off shaky because he was hurt, but when Kirk started rolling, Kirk was looking good, and then it didn't. But ask Justin. Kirk was throwing that rock last year, man. Kirk was doing his thing. They did not want to see Kirk Cousins in Tampa Bay. They did not want to see him in New Orleans. They did not want to see him in Carolina. But unfortunately, now he's gone. He's in Vegas, so we'll see what happens out there. But now Tua Tagovailoa is there battling for the quarterback position right now. We know the situation with the injury. It's really not like it's to his job or anything like that. But right now, he's starting off camp as starting quarterback because what's the quarterback name for the Falcons? Lord help. Losing it.
Penix.
Penix Jr. is hurt. So it's given to a chance, but apparently he hasn't been looking great in camp so far. They went out and got Brian Robinson Jr. from the Washington Commanders. They got Jahad Dawson from the Washington Commanders. Got Jawan Taylor on that offensive line. Those are good pickups for the Falcons in the offseason. A team that already had Bijan Robinson, Drake London. They got some good playmakers down there. I thought that losing Tyler Algier wasn't as big a deal because they went and got Brian Robinson from the Washington Commanders. You know what I mean? So I think they have the talent. We'll keep on looking for this team to be right there. They got that tight end that we were like, oh man, if they could just utilize him, unlock him. That guy, Pitts, Kyle Pitts, he is just right there on the edge of being a top tier tight end. If he just had a quarterback and give him the ball consistently. I don't know, man. Again, I think they took a step back at the quarterback position. What I took a flyer on Tua, yes. Y'all know how I feel about Tua. If healthy, he can deliver the ball quickly. I think having Bijan, the combination of Tua and what he was able to do with Achane down there in Miami, if you give him a little bit of a more pro style offense and not just everything got to be quick passes, I think Tua can make it work. Drake London is a good receiver. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be good. Losing Darnell Mooney, that's not good. Darnell, we didn't bring him up. He went up there to New York. So that's a good weapon up there for Jackson Dart as well. But what's your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons?
Look, I was listening to their what happened on that first day of camp, and then Penix is supposed to not practice. He's supposed to be out for another month with the ACL injury. Tua has a back injury has him sidelined. I believe they signed Cooper Rush yesterday.
Yes, they did. From the
so you got two left-handed quarterbacks, and now you got Cooper Rush as a right-handed quarterback. So it's like you got to flip the whole offense now. I believe Bijan is a hold-in because he wants his new contract, and it's kind of like who signs first. It's like who signs first between him and Jahmyr Gibbs, and then so who can be the top paid back in the league. And then, so like that's your whole offense.
Yeah,
that's your whole offense. So it's not a good start to training camp for the Atlanta Falcons.
That being said,
yeah. So I mean, I was not as optimistic as you were about them coming into the season. I didn't like the quarterback situation. I like Bijan. That's it. I like Drake London. You know, we'll be able to see them up close and personal in a couple months down in the ATL. So maybe they'll be healthy at that point, but at this point, it's not a good start, especially if you're everything running back says, look, if I got to deal with this ish, pay me first, and then I'll deal with it. and you can't
I
figure
think
that
they
out.
work that out. Arthur Blank not going to treat him dirty.
I
I think they'll
I
be
agree, but I mean, I think I don't know if it's really up to him. I feel like they want to see what Gibbs gets, and he wants to get more than him. And I feel like
Mhm.
it's the opposite way it's the same way for Gibbs in Detroit. So I don't know if you could really blink first unless you overpay truly, and then that hurts your cap. So
That's true.
not a
That's
good
true.
start to Atlanta.
But as far as that division, though, I still
It's
think
winnable,
they right at the top with
but New
Carolina.
Orleans is also
New Orleans, we
dangerous.
talked, yeah.
Yeah. So
New Orleans is making some moves. We talked about them last week. So this is going to be, I think, 9-8, 10-7. Like, that's going to get you in the playoffs. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, the NFC is not that tough, as far as wild cards. So, I mean, yeah, they are. What am I talking about?
yeah,
You
because
got the North, you got the
you got
West.
you probably
Yeah,
gonna get three out the West like that.
yeah, never
You'll
mind.
probably
But
get
the South could
the
get
South.
in
Yeah,
with 10 wins.
yeah,
You couldn't.
yeah.
It's been done. I think it was 9 last year.
It was it was no, yeah, because Carolina was 9-8.
Carolina.
Yeah,
So again, they're gonna take some licks, but if you can get more wins than losses, you in. You know what I mean? So we'll keep an eye on them. Next up, let's go to the NFC North and talk about these Cincinnati Bengals. That's right. Who they going to beat them Bengals? Damn near everybody. But no. So, but seriously, look, we all know about this team. It felt like they done had the same offense for how many years at this point?
yeah,
I don't know. But doesn't
yeah.
it? Don't it feel like they've been running out? Like how do you have the money for the same guys year in and year out? You got Joe Burrow, you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got the running back like Chase Brown. You have weapons. So
Yeah.
on that side of the ball, no question about it, they'll be fine. They went out and got a Dexter Lawrence in the offseason to try to get some type of push up the middle after losing to Trey Hendrickson to the Baltimore Ravens in the offseason. So, again, one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in the league. So, if is anything really a loss on defense when you lose somebody for them? I don't know
Yeah, that's
because
true.
we don't really know how good they were to begin with. You know what I mean? So, the question will be, and as my laptop is about to die, the question will be, how good are the Cincinnati Bengals going to be? Take it away, Calvin.
Look, I think what we need to see is how good the defense is going to be. Well, Dexter Lawrence and Jonathan Allen and Demetrius Knight, I believe, is the guy they drafted last year. Will they make a difference and improve this defense? If this defense goes from worst to average, can they get 2 or 3 more wins? I think so. But they also have to come out and play from the start. How many times do we see this team lose 2 of their first 3? And one of them is to a terrible team? Like, how many times can we see that with an early Joe Burrow injury or early T. Higgins injury? And then all of a sudden it's just Jamar Chase and everyone else. How often do we see Joe Flacco playing in October for the Cincinnati Bengals? Because, like I said, Joe Burrow was hurt. So I think all of that comes into play. The only if this defense can just be average and the offense can stay healthy, which is 2 big ifs, then they're dangerous and they're competing for the division. But we haven't seen it over the last couple of years, and we're at the point where we have to stop saying Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. It was 5 years ago. You have done nothing since. If we're at that point where it's time to put up or shut up for Joe Burrow, this has to be your MVP season. Your contemporaries have MVPs: Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. The guys that you are always in a group with have MVPs and have competed consistently. It's your turn now. You're in a tough division. You're in a division with the Baltimore Ravens, with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You've got to come out and carry this offense. We've seen Josh Allen carry the Buffalo Bills. We've seen Lamar Jackson carry the Baltimore Ravens. We can't say the same about you. However, you're always lumped in this conversation. It's time for you to step up. This is on Joe Burrow this year.
Look, I can't say that this team isn't the scariest team in the division. It's not like it's a lot of great teams in the NFC North, but if you're the Ravens, this is your biggest competition. They have been for multiple years now. It just is what it is. I think the addition of Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan Allen, on paper, Boy Mayfield. I mean, look,
Yeah,
on paper, that is better. The combination of the three can replace a Trey Hendrickson. You know what I mean? Like, I do think, just a communication standpoint, making some changes in the coaching staff that they did. I know Zach Taylor's on the hot seat, so you had to make
Yeah.
some changes on his defensive staff. He had to really overhaul Lou Amarin, Lou Amarillo, whatever his name was, a couple years ago. And then now this year they bring in some other guys too. So we'll see if the changes they made pay off dividends. If losing the premier quote unquote pass rusher and Trey Hendrickson and getting a package of guys back and some veterans and some guys with more experience to try to replace that is going to pay off. But at the end of the day, when you got an offense like that, it's going to come down to health. We saw T. Higgins miss games. We saw Joe Burrow miss games year after year. It's not 1 year. This is Jamar Chase. It's always something with this team when it comes to health. And then they're going to blame the offensive line. Did they go out there and make any additions on that offensive line that are going to protect Joe Burrow better? That is the question. Because at the end of the day, y'all going to blame everything else. At the end of the day, did you add to the offensive line to make the quarterback more comfortable? Remember, this is the same quarterback who last year at a press conference was talking about he don't know if he want to play no more. He was talking about, hey, this might be it. Like, he's going to retire. Like, that was literally a conversation that was happening towards the end of the season. If it's not the hand, it's the knee. It's this, it's that, the foot. It's always something.
Yeah.
So, again, until he's able to put it all together, you got to question it. But you're never going to count out a team with this much talent. You just can't. It's like the Cowboys. Like I said, it's just like what did you call the Cowboys? You know what I mean? The Cincinnati of the South. At the end of the day, when you got two receivers who can beat you all over the field, and even in losses last year, 2 years ago, we seen what happened. You know what I mean? Like, we seen them run up and down the field. Lamar had to throw for 1,000 yards to beat this team. We pull out victories, but it took some big time, heroic affairs. Do I still believe Derrick Henry can run all over this defense? Yes, I do. So I'm not worried to that extent. I'm just saying,
I agree.
I wouldn't be shocked if they won 10 to 11 games off the strength of the talent. But I also wouldn't be shocked if Joe Burrow misses half the season. T. Higgins misses 5 or 6 games as well. It's just the way it goes with this team. And finally, let's close it out with the Baltimore Ravens. That's right. This early in our season preview, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens because the Ravens didn't even make the playoffs. Came down to the last game of the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Ravens were kept out of the playoffs, and John Harbaugh was sent packing over the phone with the most disrespectful.
He would have got fired. He would have got fired out of the way, so it didn't matter. So.
Is what it is. Coach Harbaugh is no longer here. The Ravens went out in the offseason and hired new head coach Jesse Minter, former defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers, a man who was on the staff of John Harbaugh's brother. Make that make sense. But anyway, so again, Coach Minter is coming in with a different approach, a different way of doing things, but at the same time, a familiar way of doing things. He was in Baltimore before. He was under the tree of a Mike McDonald, so he has roots here. He knows what this team is about. He knows what to expect from the Ravens. He has a way. It's going to be interesting. Have you thought about that perspective, Calvin?
I think I thought about a lot of things about this team. Probably overthought everything just based off last year and how things went. And I think that's partly what clouds my judgment, what makes me hold back when I look at this team season preview. So, look, I understand the need for the coaching change. I advocated for it. Some of the moves made, I was upset about. I would like to have kept Likely. I would like to try to keep Kohler. I understand when you're an explosive team and have explosive offense that you can't retain everyone, but I just feel as though your offense got older when you had the ability to get younger and get, even if it wasn't as much as cheap as I would have liked to expect. I think the addition of Manabike will be huge for this team if he's healthy and plays next to Hendrickson, next to Travis Jones on the opposite end of Mike Green as well. I think you have the potential to have the best defensive line in the AFC. I can't account for what's going on out there in LA, but in the AFC. I think Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry until we see otherwise. And I think you still have Lamar Jackson. But one thing I've liked thus far is the communication between Lamar Jackson, Declan Doyle, and Jesse Minter. I've heard nothing but positive reviews from Lamar, and especially in his communication with Declan Doyle. And I don't understand how he's already getting head coach calls already. Don't understand that. I think it's too premature, but I need to see something. I haven't seen anything from you. But what I do expect is the defense to be better. I expect Malachi Starks to make a leap as well. I expect them to have the best safety tandem in the league, along with Kyle Hamilton. I expect if your defensive line is better, then all of a sudden Kyle Hamilton doesn't have to be at the line as much. And you can rush those initial four. That's what I expect from the defense. Offensively, I don't know what to expect, truthfully, because you were relying on a Tez Walker, on Jacoby Lane, young receivers that are unproven, and these guys have to play because this is your third receiver. I'm relying on a Mark Andrews with who's had the drops that is not as reliable as I would like him to be. Offensively, I'm nervous. Defensively, I expect better than than last year. Regardless, I think it's enough to win the division. Is it enough to compete for the number one seed overall? That I don't know, because Buffalo has a softer schedule because they didn't win the division either. So just kind of jumping all over the place with the Ravens. But as we go through training camp, as we go through get close to the regular season, I think I'll get a better feel for them. But we thought we had a good feel for them last year when they had the most talent in the league. So, but I will say this: I do think the schedule is softer than people realize. I think the Houston, like they play Houston. They've beaten Houston, what, 3 or 4 straight times? I don't think that's really a tough game. Jacksonville, they've had problems with Jacksonville, but recently they've beaten Jacksonville a lot. I look at the Buffalo game, I look at the Cincinnati game, those back-to-back weeks. You have to compete with those teams. You need to beat Buffalo in Buffalo. If you want to prove to me that you're different, you beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I don't care if you lose to Cincinnati the week before. I don't care if you lose to the Chargers. I think they play the Chargers the week after. You need to be Buffalo in Buffalo. You need to show that you're a different team on the road at one of your biggest rivals, a team that you have not beat in Buffalo since Lamar has been a starter. Or I'm sorry, it's his first MVP year. It's been 6 years, 7 years. So
in Buffalo,
yes, in Buffalo.
Let me say this. Back to my original point. Full transparency. Everyone knows I like John Harbaugh. I was a fan of John Harbaugh. I didn't think he deserved to be fired. Do I think moving on is a good thing? I think if you're going to move on, Mike McDonald was the move a couple years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
But the issue I have with the moving on is if you're going to move on, move on. Don't move on to a guy that was worked for me. Jesse Minter started his NFL coaching career 2017, 2018 as a Baltimore Ravens assistant. He was an assistant in 2017, 2018. Assistant defensive backs coach in 2019. Defensive backs coach in 2020. From 24 to 25. So he went to Michigan with Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, came back to the NFL with Jim Harbaugh on his staff for 1 year as his defensive assistant, and now this year, defensive coordinator, and now this year he's the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. His whole lineage is tied to Harbaugh. So
Harbaugh, yes.
Yes. I mean, like Jim and John. I mean, it is, he spent more time with John than Jim. So again, I get it. Everybody, we gonna have something new. I don't suspect that much is going to be that much different than what we had with Coach Harbaugh other than he's younger and might have a different message. From a defensive perspective, his schemes were schemes we've probably run here in the past. I didn't see anything innovative in LA. I didn't see anything. Only thing we could point to is Owe got a few more sacks last year playing in that defense. Are you saying that was something schematically that got Owe open to get those sacks, or did Owe know he was playing for a contract and he turned it up? I don't know.
He was playing for a contract the first 8 weeks here.
He
wasn't getting $100 million then.
He didn't have the interior pressure either the first 8 weeks, no matter BK. No, we didn't have the loaded defensive line. So again, I'm not trying to poo-poo. I just don't want everybody to be thinking that we got this brand new guy that we never like. Don't crap on the people you had. And let's not forget who's the defensive coordinator by name for this team. Another guy.
We know who's calling the plays though.
Again, but both of them were on the same staff together. It's not like they weren't on the same staff.
He wasn't here with Weaver.
Weaver been here.
He wasn't. Well, I'm saying Minter wasn't here when Weaver was here.
When was Weaver here?
Weaver was here 2-3 years ago when Harbaugh was still at Michigan and Minter was at Michigan.
Minter was at Michigan from 20. I think
he stopped in 24.
Yeah, he stopped in 24. He was only there for a couple years, and Harbaugh got kicked out. Well,
he left in 24, but before he went, Minter was here 2021.
Minter was at Michigan for 1 year, 22 to 23.
Okay.
And then he was back in Baltimore. I mean, he went to LA, but before that, he was with the Ravens.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like he had 1 year at Vanderbilt as defensive coordinator, but other than that, all he knows is a Harbaugh, man. That's all I'm saying. So from an offense perspective, let's turn to that. I know I touched on this a couple weeks ago, or last time we talked about the Ravens, and we see with the offense acquisitions, the big ones. They say John Simpson, guard. Ione, guard. I don't know who that. He was our first round pick. Was he a dog?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Danny Pinter, center. Is that the guy that they
That's
signed?
The guy they signed from Denver.
And that's it, Jesse Minter. So our big offseason acquisition.
No, that's the guy from Indianapolis. Posich is the guy from Denver.
So they have Trey Henderson, John Simpson, Ione, whatever his name is, first round pick, Danny Pinter. Those are our big pickups to help Lamar Jackson. You talk about, we're not going to have no problem with the Houston Texans. You see that pass rush?
There was the same pass rush from last year. Well, from 2 years ago, Lamar played on Christmas. So, yes.
We had a better offensive line 2 years ago. We had better offensive line.
We still had problems with we still had Falele starting.
Not 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, Falele was a Pro Bowler.
He was the 9th alternate.
Hey, he made it.
Look, so was Shador. Shador was a Pro Bowler. What we trying to say?
Chill out. But anyway, I don't think the Ravens did enough to make this team better. I think you did get better by Matabike coming back. I love that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you this question. How much of that is Lamar's problem by not signing an extension?
I mean, let's be honest, guys. What is Lamar's protection? If Lamar gets hurt this year, what is his protection? How many years he got left on his deal?
1. But he's getting knock on wood. If he gets hurt, he gets a contract extension regardless. So,
but wouldn't you want to make sure the offensive line is the best it can be to protect your future, your franchise? You know what I mean? I'm looking at this and I'm like, you ain't gonna get me a number one.
You know,
Greatest Zay.
I thought we said Zay was number one.
Is he a real number one?
But when you say we didn't go get number one, a number one wasn't available unless you're talking about like Stephon Diggs, which I
You
don't
couldn't
think
make
he's
a
number one
trade.
now.
You could not make a trade. Everybody makes trades.
For who? For who? Just give me
George
just
Pickens, who signed the franchise tag.
Are you going to pay him?
Why not? Look, we just showed that we don't care about money. You're going to pay Mark Andrews. You didn't pay Likely. Where's all your money going, Calvin?
But I mean, we had that discussion how they offered Andrews the Likely deal. Andrews said yes first, and that's what happened because Likely got the same number that they offered, in October of last year. So and Harbaugh knew that's why he signed so quickly. So there was something else going on there that has
the Ravens were willing to trade for Max Crosby. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Where was you going to get the money to pay him?
Trey Henderson. We had a discussion. We had a discussion already.
The Ravens said, what a report said, the Ravens were going to try to get both of them.
You believe that?
That's what the report said. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm listening.
I'm not talking about the report. I'm talking about what do you believe?
It don't matter what I believe. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm sitting back. See, I got money for Max Crosby, Trey Henderson, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey still on his team, right? Still getting paid.
Let me interject one more time.
No, I'm just naming all the big.
You're right.
I being paid on defense.
You're right.
He's a high contract player.
Let me interject one more time. In my opinion, Lamar's best season was 2024. He didn't win MVP. He's the MVP in my opinion. He got 3 MVPs. 2023 was his next to best year, second best year. That offense in 2023 compared to the offense today is the same outside of swapping Derrick Henry for Gus Edwards, and you have an Isaiah Likely who I would have liked to have retained.
It's not the same.
Oh, because the offensive line?
The offensive line is weaker. You have no fullback, so you're changing my whole offense.
But the offense has changed. So
that's what I'm saying. You're changing my whole offense, which takes the protection away from me. That takes protection away from me. How are you going to have a lesser offensive line and then take a fullback off the field?
I think the offensive line is better than last year. I'll say that.
I wasn't on the field last year.
You're right. I've been a Tyler Linderbaum's overpaid guy because I feel as though he needs excellent guard play to be effective. And if I have to pay you more than the second most paid center, and I have to pay guards for you to be effective, that doesn't mesh in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm happy he got his money.
Better at receiver this year than we were last year. Wide receiver.
About the same. It's the same.
So everybody's a year older. Injuries stack up. All right. Let's say it's a wash.
Okay.
Are we better at tight end this year than we were last year?
I think that's an easy no. Well, it's easy no right now because of Likely and Kohler. So yes. So
I'll look at it another way. Who's getting paid top dollar at wide receiver right now?
Zay in a month.
Is he getting paid right now top dollar?
No.
Who's getting paid top dollar at tight end?
Andrews.
He's getting top of the league money to play tight end at his age.
Yes.
Offensive line. Who's getting top dollar right now?
Stanley. Well, if that's top money, but yeah.
That's my point. Derrick Henry not getting top dollar. He's not.
He's the second highest paid running back or third, something like that. He re-signed after last year, prior to last season.
Okay. So if he's getting top dollar, you're telling me the money on the Ravens
he's also
team
32. So
is offensively going into Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews because Lamar doesn't have a deal yet. All right. Defensively, let's ask the same question. Defensive line, who's getting paid? Trey Henderson. Matabike, top dollar. Yeah. Linebacker, Roquan. He up there with middle linebacker money.
Yeah.
Cornerback Marlon still getting. I mean, his cap hit is ridiculous. I looked at it.
It's like 20, right? It's like
It's a lot of money, man.
But this is last year, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised they held on to him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Who else at corner?
And well, safety in Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Either probably top highest paid safety.
So you got a top paid person at every position, at every level. That's my point. If I'm Lamar, I'm like, y'all were literally trading for not that we don't need pass rush. I'm not saying we don't. But I can't legitimately look at this team and say I couldn't have used a playmaker on the outside to make me better as a quarterback. That's all I'm saying. If I'm going to feel more secure here long term, I want to see what is our. I'm not talking about 2026. What's 2027, 2028 going to look like? Maybe those players ain't on the team yet. I don't know. But it would be good to know that before I put pen to paper. That's all I'm saying. Because if you go on a clean house after this year, and I'm left with an empty, I'm going to get my big contract and there's nobody here to play with, at least let me have a Super Bowl under my arm before that happened. That's how I'm looking at it if I'm Lamar Jackson, because I'm playing out my contract. You know what I mean? He clearly is in no rush. Clearly. I don't think he's looking for fully guaranteed money. I think he wants to get paid. I do. So anyway, I know I sound like I'm not high on the Ravens this year because I'm not, but I'm going to be pleasantly happy if they overcome some of these deficiencies. Again, I don't know Declan Doyle. I don't have a big book on him to be able to determine what type of offensive play caller he's going to be. I know what Ben Johnson was. I don't know what Declan Doyle is.
You know what Kyle Shanahan was it? Kyle Shanahan or was McVay?
I think it was
no. It was Sean Payton.
Oh, he was in Denver. Yeah. He was like he wasn't even nothing big there though.
I think he was offensive coordinator, but he didn't call plays because it was Sean Payton.
I didn't think we got him. I thought that was somebody else.
No, because he left Denver and went to Chicago last year with Ben Johnson.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. I thought it was somebody else in Denver who did that last year, and Sean Payton gave up the play calling duty so he
did last year, but
it happened 2 years in a row.
Doyle was there 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Payton's a guy, man. He know how to develop them. But anyway, what's your record for the Ravens this year?
If I remember correctly, you got Buffalo, Cincy, of course Pittsburgh. You got Houston. They played Tampa. I think they played.
They got the South, yeah, because they got Atlanta, Carolina.
Tampa's home.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans first home game. 12-5.
I'll say 11-6. I agree with this graphic. I think they'll lose one in Cincinnati.
Agree.
Unfortunately, they'll lose one to Pittsburgh.
That's interesting because they play them so late that they may be out of it. That's why I'm like the Pittsburgh. I'm not sure. I think they played them twice in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, they'll lose one of them. Might be Aaron Rodgers' song or something like that.
But the last game's at home. I think they lose if it doesn't matter. It's one of them games. So
yeah, it's not New Year's because we don't have New Year's this year.
They play New Year's. They play New Year's Eve though. They play Cincinnati New Year's Eve
on the road. Yeah.
Yes. Because it's a Thursday night, something like that.
Yeah. I think Buffalo is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I had to study some more before when we do our final preview before the season. I'll have a hard time.
I agree with Cincinnati. I agree with
they always won.
Pittsburgh,
and Cleveland always play us tough, but
but Cleveland, there's no Myles Garrett. Like
that's what gives us
problems. It's a Cincinnati, Buffalo, Jacksonville stretch. Cincinnati, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Carolina stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And I see them doing something.
It's like a Thursday, Monday thing too at home. We
Yeah,
got Thursday night football, Monday night football.
Yeah, but they're both home though.
Yeah, they home games.
Yeah, they both home.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not a bad schedule.
To me, they should get off to like 5 or 6-0. Like if you beat Dallas and Rio's the toss up because it's kind of like
the only reason why I don't know because early in the season, new coordinators, new everything.
But like I mean, like look, as much as I think New Orleans is on the right track, I'm not. That should be an easy win in my opinion.
Yeah, at home. Yeah.
The Indy game with Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, I think it should be a win. The Cowboys game in Rio week 3 is the game. It's kind of like, all right, if you are a playoff team, you win that game. And I'm not saying you don't win it close, but you win that game. And then it's Tennessee, Atlanta, Cleveland. So that's the first 6. So you should be 5-1 at worst.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
You should be 5-1 at worst.
Again, the old Ravens, you're losing 2 of those.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Again, the harder the schedule is still the harder schedule.
Correct. They're like that. It's a Cincinnati, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Chargers,
and
Panthers,
Jacksonville ain't
Texans.
no slouch. Yeah,
Chargers, Panthers, Texans, Bucks, Steelers stretch. That's a tough stretch.
Tough.
And then you got 2. No, I'm sorry. You
go 3-3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see. Well, again, we'll do our final prediction the week before the season, or the week of the season opener, and we'll come back to the Ravens. But it's crazy to be talking about them in July. That's wild. Yeah. Let's keep it moving. So I know you all would probably tune in, hoping to see our Fab Five follow up to what's been going on with the basketball tournament, but we'll return with that next week. Justin is out this week, so we don't have the updated on that. But we got other stuff to cover tonight. So don't worry, we're not going to leave you in the lurch. So this weekend is SummerSlam, and big matchups going on in WWE. We're gonna get out of here with some WWE SummerSlam predictions. First of all, Cal, have you been paying attention to wrestling lately? What's your thoughts on everything? What's your overall thoughts? What's happening?
Last episode of Raw last week, we didn't talk about it last week as much. Raw's been kind of slowing down in my opinion. I'm excited for the card because there are possibilities, and I'm interested in seeing how, especially this match, how it plays out. Because I really believe Roman wins clean, but I don't know where he goes from here if he does, because Oba is still 5 months away, and so. And then the rumors come back up as well if he wins clean as to who's coming back. But I'm excited for Reigns and Rollins specifically. I'm also excited for Brock to be able to put on in front of his home fans in Minnesota. He's become, I won't say more likable without Heyman, but you see more of his personality, and I think or the lack of his personality, however you choose to look at it, but it's more organic. Especially when he actually likes someone, in my opinion. So he likes Oba and wants to see him do well. So it makes that rivalry interesting. I thought it was going to get stale after a while, but with Brock being interested and invested in it, unlike past rivalries, it makes it more interesting, in my opinion. So I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, for me, WWE right now, again, y'all know I watch AEW. I watch everything.
You're becoming an AEW fan.
CMLL,
more AEW fan.
New Japan. No, I watch everything, man. I've been an AEW fan since day one, but WWE is one of those things where when you watch it, you enjoy it for what it is, and I can separate it from the other organizations. I don't expect every wrestling organization I watch to be the same. That's where fans get themselves in trouble. They want to compare, contrast. I know what to expect from this company. I've been watching them my whole life. You know what I mean? I don't care if Vince McMahon not there or not. Speaking of, Vince McMahon got off on his case, so that's done. So there's a chance you might see him again. You never know. But I know people, they get mad at rematches, they get mad at the same old thing, but Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins is like a classic
True.
feud. This is like two of the guys who came from that developmental system. Not that we didn't know who Seth Rollins was before when he was in Ring of Honor. He wasn't Seth Rollins back then. He was Tyler Black. He's not an original WWE guy, but he made himself into Seth Rollins. That is who we know him as now. And the Shield and the breakup and Roman going through his struggles, becoming a big dog and then becoming a tribal chief and all that kind of stuff. We've seen the maturation of that. And I think a lot of people, you think that, oh, these guys have been around for so long. But in actuality, they really haven't.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the timeline, the amount of singles matches they actually had is not that many. And then injury has held us from, has kind of robbed us of a few times where they could have been matched up and it didn't happen. Roman with his leukemia, missing time during COVID, being very limited in his schedule when he came back due to not wanting to be around a lot of people, only working matches here and there, his feud with the bloodline stuff. Seth wasn't really involved in a lot of that. You know what I mean? So they kind of wanted to do this match a couple years ago at WrestleMania. It got pushed. Then they had the tag match, and then they had the three-way with CM Punk. But as far as a one-on-one match, this is a match they've been wanting to do for a while. It has history. It has a story behind it. It makes perfect sense. And I get it. Some people, oh, we don't need to see this again. Bruh, a lot of people are into this. If you listen to the crowd, you see the reaction. When Roman Reigns comes out there, he's the biggest star in all of wrestling. Period. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they come to see. So you can hate it from your couch. But when those people pay that money, and they paying a lot of money to go see the stars, they want to see Seth Rollins. They want to say, "Whoa!" They want to do that. They want to put that thing in the air. That is what is making this company the #1 wrestling company in the world. You can hate on it from the couch, but that's the reality. And I think people just need to realize that. Are they the best wrestlers? Seth is a great wrestler. Like, Roman is a great big match wrestler. And I have no doubt they're going to go out there and put on a hell of a match. We saw CM Punk and Roman Reigns put on a hell of a match at WrestleMania. And Seth is 20 times better than CM Punk. And I think if given time, which they will have, the story will be told. Roman will walk out victorious, but it will be a good main event and a good way to end SummerSlam weekend.
You got him winning clean as well?
I do.
Okay.
Unless they want to set up whatever's next. If they want to premiere somebody and they attack, or they bring back Kevin Owens, or bring back Randy Orton, or even though I don't think neither one of them have anything to do with this particular story.
Correct.
It might be the other one. But if they wanted to kickstart something new, Gunther could get involved. We know that story continues. Sami Zayn. Again, that's on the other brand.
I was going to say everything you named, everybody named the other brand. That's what I was like. I was going to say that.
What do you want to kickstart from this perspective? I just think maybe next is LA Knight. You know what I mean? Like, I think LA Knight gets the winner. They've been holding that off. I don't know, but Oba, he's going to wait. You know what I mean? That's WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania. I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? Me and HJ was talking about this the other day. I asked him, what night are you more excited for? He said Sunday. I said, come on over. We'll watch it Sunday night. Because we haven't gotten together and watched wrestling in a while. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'll watch it. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm off. Whatever. You know what I mean? Night one's main event. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. Again, am I like over the moon excited over this? I wouldn't have minded the 4-way. I really wouldn't have minded with Sammy,
with Sammy and
these two. I wouldn't have minded it. But I think that the story they've been telling makes perfect sense. Punk comes in, they'll be a little heelish, sneaks, wins the title from Sammy. Cody felt like, okay, you snuck one over on me, I think you could continue this. I don't think this needs to be the final matchup between these two. I think this could drag on for a month or two, and I think they could really have a little feud. You know what I mean? I think this can be a disqualification or some type of non-finish. I might not even main event night one with it, just because you're not going to give a conclusive finish. I might go with Brock
and Oba.
You know what I mean? In the cage.
I think this match will last longer. That's the only reason I think it's this. And like you said, I agree with you. I think Punk wins. I'm not saying necessarily clean, but I think we probably get a 3-way with Punk, Cody, and Randy down the line.
I might open the show with this. To be honest with you, I might open night one.
But you notice it's not on ESPN that first hour anymore. So
I might open night one with this hot right off the bat. Crowds into it. Don't even need to do a complete finish. Maybe people get involved. Maybe bring back a Kevin Owens. Maybe bring back a Randy Orton. Maybe do something that leads to something else in night two. I don't know. I just don't think you necessarily need a finish. I think this can continue into the fall. Every match don't need to be, one guy won, one guy lost. Keep it going. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. That's the old school fan in me. But I just don't think you need it. I think they just getting started. They literally just started this feud. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't blow it off. I don't think neither guy needs to lose right now. That's just my thoughts. Well, who you got with it?
I got Punk win. I think the only thing that will make this better if Punk didn't have the title.
Punk was chasing instead of
well, not even. Well, I'm not gonna say that because I Punk nor Cody had the title. Let me be more.
Just a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
But my fear is Cody's just racking up them title wins, buddy. Get that number up.
You think Cody wins? I think
it's too soon.
Yeah, I think it's too soon. I don't see Punk losing both titles in 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months.
So I don't see it. I don't see Punk losing.
Yeah.
Now maybe towards the end of the year, we can make it interesting on the Royal Rumble. But I think Punk retains.
Next up, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. Again, this is on Saturday night. I would main event with this. This is Brock hometown. Put Oba over in the main event. I don't think the crowd will mind. They love this guy. You know what I mean? And I think the Cell is going to make the match naturally longer. They can throw each other around. It don't have to be 5-6 minute match. They can go 15. Like I think they Oba definitely could do it. We've seen him do it. NXT he had long matches. And Brock, put your working shoes on, big boy. Let's go. You know what I mean? You at home. It's your hometown. You don't need to get in and out. Stay there. Go visit family. You know what I mean? Put your working shoes on. Put on a show. Who wins?
I think Oba wins. I'm surprised with the stipulation. I'm also curious about a Paul Heyman turn because we've gotten him away from the Vision, which is fine because the Vision's going nowhere. But I don't see he's not along for Brock. So like how do we keep Paul relevant? How do we keep him?
I know how you do it. This is my thoughts. And I said this to somebody. Jacob Fatu is in Roman's corner, right?
Yes.
How do you get the mix of because Heyman is the guy for both Brock right now and Roman, right? He the mouthpiece.
Is he the mouthpiece for Roman?
Not all the time, but he's still his wise man. He's still his wise man. I think Jacob Fatu is the next feud. Like to get the Roman, you got to get through Jacob Fatu, right? But before you get to that, I think Braun Breaker needs to be elevated back up to that status. And they could do a real feud where Braun Breaker cuts off Oba. That's my spot. I was supposed to be the next big thing. I was supposed to be the next big guy. I was the one who was the one who's going to take out Roman, who's going to get the main event spot. I beat Seth Rollins a couple months ago. I beat CM Punk. I was supposed to be the champ. I got hurt. All of a sudden, I'm watching the TV, and Oba getting elevated to the top of the card. Everybody chanting his name, and now he's supposed to be the big star on the rise. I would make it real because that's a true story. That's a true story. If you watch WWE Unreal, like they had big plans for Braun Breaker on 2 occasions, and he got hurt.
He got hurt. Yeah,
and it's like I can't keep giving you.
And you
now he's in
not
a
here.
tag team, you know, riding
and tag team going nowhere.
Going nowhere. I will break him out of that, shoot him right to the top.
I think the problem I have is it would have been better to keep Heyman with him specifically.
He is with him.
No, but he's got the vision though. He's not. He doesn't really.
I think you link him back up though. You can say, "I'm done with Logan. I'm done with Austin."
Fine.
You're the one I believe in, and create that dissension there.
But I mean, I'm the only thing I'm concerned is when they bring back Bronson Reed. What do you do with him if it's not division?
I think Bronson Reed should go with him. Those two together.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. And if you add Heyman to that, that's fine.
Yeah, get rid of Logan Paul and
I'm going to
like even squash them. You know what I mean?
I elevated Brock. I elevated CM Punk. You see what I did for them? I could do this.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
But Logan Paul out hurt, so that's why you really got worried about him.
And
but Austin Theory, squash that bum. You know what I mean? Get him out of there. He can still be on the show. He got his girl.
The vision had promise, but at this point, we're a year past all these injuries. Scrap it.
But that's how I break Braun out of that mess. I will put him in a feud with Oba, and honestly, I might beat him. I might beat Oba. And that will give you a chance to cool Oba down for a few months. Braun go on, get a title match. Maybe he lose or whatever like that. Oba builds his way back. He wins the Royal Rumble, goes on to WrestleMania. I might not beat him. I know I'm talking crazy.
No. I think you gotta beat him.
You gotta.
Maybe you have Oba cost him his match against Roman.
There you go.
And then
have Jacob Fire 2 cost him. You know what I mean?
And then all of a sudden you have that rematch. Oba wins, and then you start to build momentum going into towards Royal Rumble.
I think the problem is, and we talked about this, they got too many guys who they don't want to beat right now.
Correct.
Who they're around the same level.
Yep.
And you be like, damn, he could be champ. No, he could be. No, he could be champ. No, he could.
Somebody got to lose. It's okay if you lose, man. It's okay if you lose. It's just how you lose.
You lose and how you book the recovery.
That's the problem that they have with Gunther. It's all of a sudden we can't make him lose, and he's the legend killer. And then all of a sudden he loses. It's like it just kills his momentum.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's okay.
Everybody feel like as soon as Gunther lost, he getting buried. And like, no, he should be able to take a loss.
Yes.
It's how you lose and can you recover from it. And then they so scared to book him, they put him against announcers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't want him to lose to guys. We'll talk about that in a second. But next up, Charlotte, Jade, Chelsea, Tiffany, and then there's one final person gonna be added to this on SmackDown. It's gonna be a ladder match for the vacant, the interim WWE Women's title that Rhea Ripley held. Rhea's out with an injury, but they're not stripping her the title. They're creating an interim title, and when Rhea comes back, the two will face each other. That's some UFC stuff. UFC do that all the time.
Should have been to this. We knew Rhea was hurt.
They drug it out. They knew she was hurt. Yeah. I got a feeling it's going to be Charlotte. I don't know that, but Charlotte and I think Charlotte and Rhea might be the move. I don't know. We've seen that many times, but it might be Jade. They might just say they put it back on
Jade. I think it's going to be Tiffany. I think she's going to have both belts.
You think Tiffany?
I think she's going to have both belts.
Okay. All right. It'll be interesting. But again, remember, it's an interim title. And
that's what I'm saying. Because even she has both belts, she could lose to Ripley. She could lose to Rhea, and it's not like she lost the belt. Yeah. She just interim title. So I think that's my thought.
Good one. Next up, Liv versus Io. This is a rematch from last month where Io beat her in the finals of the Queen of the Ring to earn this match.
Can we end this already?
Who you want to win?
I want EO to win, but I think Liv is going to win.
I thought that they're not going to take the title off Liv that quick. Plus, Raquel just won her belt.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to do a jealousy thing or whatever like that.
But you've already done that, kinda. So you.
Yeah. Now, if Liv loses and Raquel got her belt, and then Liv try to punk her, act like, like, you know what I mean?
That
like,
can work.
You could do something with that, but
that could work.
I just don't think they're going to beat. They going. This match is to give Liv a great match. That's all. They're not going to beat Liv 2 pay-per-views in a row. I don't think so. So I got Liv. Next, I like this match. This is good. Penta versus Chad Gable. They gotta have Gable win. Gable has to win.
I agree.
The story has been built up.
This
is hometown. He came from being El Grande. You know, he's back. They building him. Win the Intercontinental title. Put him over. I think this is a good move for him.
I agree. Chad Gable wins this.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good match too.
Yeah, I'm expecting a good match, but I think Chad Gable wins this.
Yeah. Next,
and it will be well deserved.
Yeah. Gunther, look, I think from a storyline perspective, they've done the best they could do with this. To make a to be honest with you, look, if you know, this guy is a wrestler. Like Nick Aldis was a wrestler for a long time. I was shocked they didn't, but when they signed him, they didn't just make him a wrestler. They made him into a commentator, which was always weird to me. This guy, former TNA champion, former NWA champion, main evented with Cody Rhodes on all the first AEW. It wasn't AEW back then, but the first All-In show. This guy's like big time. Like I was shocked. He's good size. I know William Regal loves him. Triple H, like they love this guy. So I was stunned. Maybe he had some type of injury that we don't know about. But anyway, he's back. And he's in the way. He's going in there with an absolute killer. I like the storyline. I mean, Gunther's going to make it work. But I'm tired of having him face, like we seen him with Pat McAfee. Now we seen him retire guys, the old guys. Now you put him in with another guy who's not an everyday wrestler. This just tells me they just like him for the novelty. You know what I mean? They know he know how to get it over.
True.
Because his matches are believable. His match is believable because he chops the hell out of you. You know what I mean? Like, that's why. So you put him in there with somebody who will really rough him up, and it's going to be a physical matchup. I will say that. I got Gunther winning, of course.
Of course.
Better have him winning.
Of course. I think it'll be a better matchup than people initially thought because they didn't follow all this in AEW. Yeah. So I do think it'll be a surprisingly good matchup. And of course, Gunther will hold up his end of the bargain, but he's got to win, and we can bury this, and he can move on. But we have to be, like we talked about, you have to be okay with him losing to certain people. It's fine. It doesn't mean he's getting buried. Yeah. It's fine. And so
I think Gunther's winning the title soon. I think he might be, because remember, Punk won the title from Gunther at last year's SummerSlam. People forget that.
Yes.
Remember, Punk won the title. And then 5 seconds later, Seth Rollins cashed in. You know what I mean? I think Gunther's going to win this title soon. And I think that's what's going to happen. So, excuse my friend. They might. We got WrestlePalooza coming up. They got Money in the Bank coming up. Some Survivor Series after that.
Whatever,
They got one of them clashes in something, probably. Like, they got some shows coming up, so we'll see. I just think Gunther's on that. He beat John Cena last year. You still haven't really capitalized on that. He retired John Cena, retired AJ Styles. He beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, so he's had some big wins. But you got to do something with it. You got to. Next up, I don't know what is going on here. Where did Baron Corbin come from?
I don't know. I actually think I think he wins this.
I don't think so.
I don't understand Trick's where his storyline is going, and his matches haven't been very good. We had this conversation before.
It just sucks.
wouldn't be surprised. It would be, and there has to be some surprise at WrestleMania. I think this is it. You're muted.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I hit the court by mistake. But I don't know where this guy came from.
It sounds like your mic is either your mic's not plugged in or because it sounds like talking to the computer now.
All right, give me 1 second.
I mean, it's fine. It's just you can tell the change in the volume.
No, it jumped out. I see it. How about now?
Yep, you're back.
Yeah. I don't know where Baron Corbin came from. I thought we were setting up for Trick versus Mello at SummerSlam. That was the obvious trajectory. I'm like, bro, where's Dragunov? Where is there are so many guys on a roster. This spot could have been reserved for a premier spot on SummerSlam.
Sammy, Royce Keys,
Corbin. It's frustrating, man. It's very frustrating when you look at this roster. How much talent they got? Did you see the New Day video?
Yes. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You got talent, and I'm not saying the New Day is like a new. Look, they got their due. They won the title 15 times. They were treated well, but at the end of the day, they were asked to take a pay cut, and at their point of their career,
their stature,
they should not be taking no major pay cuts like that. You got all these other stars. Now I don't know. Probably some of them probably did take a pay cut too, but we don't know. At this point, I'm not taking no pay cut, and I know how much money y'all making. No, and all the money I've made for y'all off merchandise with the bootios,
especially them.
You know what I mean? They were merchandise warriors, and this ridiculous stuff to help make the company money. Anyway, I don't go from tangent, but be careful, Trick. You know what I mean? Be careful. Be careful. Jerron, you're not even on the. I think he is on the. Is he on the ladder match or something?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. They got the 6-man. They've been building this up for a month at this point.
No, he's not.
Huh?
Oh no, yeah, he is. No,
yeah, it's a tag team match. Usos and Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight, Royce Keys, and we gotta talk about Solo. Solo been getting over, man. Solo been funny. Solo been playing babyface,
and you know what's gonna happen.
Diggy turning.
Yeah. Yep. Well, as soon as he gets popular, as soon as he starts to get over, now unless you call audible. But I think that's how this match is going to end. So, unless you call it audible, but yeah, that's what I think.
But at the end of the day, the Usos and Roman are baby faces in many regards. They're not always heel. You know what I mean? So maybe he just be a tweener. I don't know. But he been getting over. He has been getting over. You know what I mean? But I want to see what they're going to do with Royce Keys.
But then also,
I wouldn't even mind if that, huh?
He has to come to Raw then too. He would have to.
Unless you do the bounce back and forth type deal, they've been on both shows. You know what I mean? The Usos be on both shows all the time.
Not Roman.
Yeah, but I would have done Royce Keys versus Trick. You know what I mean? You don't want to beat him. Trick can lose.
But now you're at that point you don't either want them to lose, and that's the problem. And that's the match you want to see, but you don't want either one of them to lose.
You can do a series. I beat him the first time. Maybe we feud for a month or two, and then at the end, if you want Trick to go over in the end, fine. But everybody does not need to hold the title for a year. You know what I mean? That's
because Trick won that in WrestleMania
was at his best back in the Attitude Era. I'm not saying it was better than the 80s and nothing like that, because people did hold the title for a long time. But back during ECW, WCW, WWE, when it was hot and heavy, every channel you had to switch your channel. They did stuff like this because they had to keep you interested. Title changes would happen on Nitro. Title changes would happen on Raw. Things happen from week to week. They had monthly pay-per-views. Stuff would happen. Everybody did not hold the title for a year. It don't have to be like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but we'll see. Next up, Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. Look, man, I think some of the Danhausen stuff has been funny. I didn't mind
He's
what they
getting kind of
did at
old.
Saturday Night Main Event, but it jumped the shark the other night. That was probably one of the worst segments. And then you bring out Ryan Garcia,
Yeah.
most racist piece of crap. Like, why would you even like? Do y'all not
Ratings.
easy Google search? Like check his Twitter. The man's racist. He went off on black people, went off on Muslims. He went off on, you know what I mean? Like, why would you bring that onto your show?
In his words, it was to sell a fight, but we know the truth. But yeah, Danhausen wins it. But I agree. That was a terrible segment. It made me not look forward to this match at all. the initial stuff with him with the Knicks and with ESPN, that was entertaining.
That's where you keep it at.
Yeah. Now it's just kind of
it's jumping the shark. He should be celebrity involvement. People like the little hijinks here and there. Again, I didn't mind the whole minis thing at Saturday Night Main Event when he had the time machine. I thought that was funny. But the other night, that was just, man, him and Joe Hendry, that was just too much for me. Next up, Sammy and Finn Balor. I think this will just be a good wrestling match. Nothing special. Good match. I've been liking Sammy's character work lately. You know what I mean? He was the former champion. What you think?
I think Balor wins. I thought Balor was going to win the King of the Ring at one point. And I thought we were going to see the Demon. I think it was against Cody. It would have been against Cody at the time. So I think Finn Balor wins and we end up getting Balor versus Punk, which I'm not upset about.
I don't think so. I think Sammy wins. I think Sammy is on a mission to get back. He feel like he was wronged. He was cheated.
He was wrong. He should have never been there in the first place. Yeah. But that's another conversation.
I think he wins. You got to keep that story going.
You want to keep angry Sammy? Okay.
And then finally, you got tag team six-man tag. Nikki and Brie and Paige versus Fatal Influence. I don't have much to add on that one, but I thought it was like a ladder match with the men. Or was that?
I thought it was. It must have been the women.
Was that the other day? I know Javon beat Rusev.
Yeah, because they were talking about how Rusev just no-selling the road out the ring.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Let me double check this lineup. What else we got? So is there another match? Maybe they just didn't create a graphic for it, but I thought it was like a tag or some type of multi-man match with the men.
No, it was just that.
Is it?
No.
Maybe it's just not official yet, but it was rumored. Okay. But anyway, should be a good show. Again, I think they did a pretty solid job mixing up the two nights, making both nights something you have something to watch and be appealing to some degree. Both main events with major stars. They don't really have a lot of celebrity involvement. I was shocked they didn't follow up with Lyra Vicaria after what she did to Bailey a couple weeks ago, having something for them. It's just, the way WWE does their shows, you do get a lot of people on there, but it's split over 2 nights. I think this 2-night experiment stuff for SummerSlam, I think this might have jumped the shark. I think they should have just kept it to WrestleMania, 2 nights of Mania. I don't think you needed 2 nights SummerSlam. I really don't. Even though they have enough talent where you can fill 2 cards, but when you're only doing 6 matches a show, apparently they wanted 5, but they was like, "Hey man, that's not enough. Y'all need to put more matches on." Like AEW doing 8-9 matches on one
pay-per-view. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think, and those matches be loaded, dog. That's what I'm saying. I think they could get more guys on there to get more people some shine, get some more, more bang for your buck. But when you paying your ESPN subscription or what is already included, I guess they figure, hey man, we got y'all money already. And they just added YouTube TV this past week, so even more people don't have to pay for the pay-per-view. Like mine is included with my Hulu Live subscription. Is yours included with your Comcast?
Yep, included with Comcast. Yep.
So, so it's pretty much if you got Netflix already, you got Hulu or YouTube or whatever your cable provider. They pretty much you don't pay pay-per-views no more. You know what I mean? It's just like watching on TV. And in a way, I think that's a double-edged sword in my opinion because it takes away what made it special. You know what I mean? Like even for me, you remember how many people used to come over my house and watch wrestling? You know what I mean? Like back when you had to pay for a pay-per-view, I used to have watch parties. Had a whole living room set up, food ordered, everybody coming because ain't nobody want to pay that $50 to sit there on your own. So hey, put $5 out,
and all of a sudden,
and you got an event.
Pretend you got some food, you got food and drink, and you got some pay-per-view. But you know
everybody together.
The other thing that hurts it is the fact that it comes on at 6. You can start watching at 6. I can come in at 8, and I can start from the beginning. So whatever I've missed, I didn't miss it.
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
Maybe if you do that after it's over, you're able to rewatch from the beginning. But if you watch it late, you only come in because now what we're talking about 2 different things. You're talking about what's going on currently. I'm talking about what happened 2 hours ago. I haven't watched it.
You can't have that. So you lose that connection. You know what I mean? You're not online. Because
now I'm trying to avoid spoilers. So I'm not in the group chat because I'm trying to avoid what y'all talking about.
I agree with you 100%. And that's what a lot of stuff though. That is true. You know, because the only thing we really watch live now is sports. Like if it's a basketball game or a football game, you need to be watching.
But even with basketball, you watching on Prime, I could start over from the beginning if I start late, or I can catch highlights. But
nobody's going to want to not watch a football game of importance when it's happening. Because you need to know that that's the problem with wrestling at this point. That's why in the years past, they never did those overseas pay-per-views because the time difference. But now with the streaming, money already guaranteed, they'll put on a show at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's the sports mind in the way TKO runs the company because they looking at it like, well, football starts at 1 o'clock every Sunday. People watch. Basketball started 12 o'clock every Saturday. 1 o'clock, college football come on. 12 noon. Everybody tuning in if it's a big game they want to watch. So they're not worried about, it's nighttime wrestling. Wrestling pay-per-view should be on Sunday night. You know what I mean? That was the time to watch wrestling. And again, everybody knew I remember Royal Rumble 2005, maybe 2004, and everybody's cable was messed up. And everybody was calling the cable company like, hey, it's not working. It's not working. What is going on? It didn't come in until like halfway through the Royal Rumble match. People was pissed, but everybody was trying to watch it at the same time. There was no DVR. There was no, I can just click back to the beginning. No, you had to wait for the replay to
at
see
11 o'clock.
Like it's just different. But that I think made people more fans because the timeliness of it. Like you say, the discussion was timely. You had to watch at the same time. Again, with the viewing of it. Raw and Nitro during the 90s. Boy, you didn't want to go to school on Tuesday.
Without watching it.
Bruh, you did not want to go to school on Tuesday not knowing what happened last night on wrestling.
Back and forth between commercial breaks. If it was a match you didn't like, you flipping back over. And you always knew the end of Raw, something was going to happen. So I got to watch the end of Raw. And then when the NWO came, and you're trying to watch.
Ever since Raw been on Netflix, I can't lie to you. I get to it when I get to it. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's the bad part. Like, I'll watch it Tuesday morning. Like, all right, I'll watch the first segment.
And that's why when they look at the ratings and they be talking about the ratings and they be talking about the ratings are down and all that, I'm like, yeah, I believe it. Because I look at my own viewing habits. Like, I don't rush to watch that stuff. You know what I mean? It's on Netflix. I'll get to it. I can pull it up on my phone. I can, if I'm at work, I can throw it on my tablet, at lunch. Like SmackDown come on Friday night. I'm not home sitting in front of the TV on Friday night. You know what I mean? I'll get to it on Saturday at some point. It's just different. We still fans. We still watch. But it's never going to go back the way it was. It won't. Unless you have small kids or young kids who are into it and they are like, that's still appointment TV for them. Because I know a lot of people like that. My kids got me back into it. They just, man, they be into it. Like, they want to go to the show. Like, I was talking to Dorothy, and they're like, man, let me know next time she want to go. She want to go, man. All right. You know what I mean? Like, that will pull you in. You ain't got no choice at that point. You remember all the kids I used to have over?
Yeah.
We used to watch. They was into it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go to the shows. They wanted to, you know what I mean? And that it re-energized me into wanting to. So, again, they need to tap back into that. I get why you had the Danhausen, because you're trying to appease those small, the high cheek crowd. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's something for everybody. It got to be something for everybody. All right, guys, we touched on a lot tonight. This was fun. Again, we after 11 o'clock hour. We apologize, but we appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. Justin will be back next week, but this was fun. You know what I mean? We went over 8 teams tonight. We'll get back to 4 next week because we're back on track now. 4 week of our NFL preview. We touched on LeBron, the Orioles. Back down again. So we'll touch on them next week. Hopefully.
Could have been worse. Could have been back-to-back losses by 8 or 9 runs. So,
bro, the other day they lost by like 17. It was like 17-0.
It was 7-0 yesterday. He turned it back on. So, hey, we take the good with the bad right now.
It is what it is. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back hopefully next Wednesday. Let me check the calendar on that. What's that? The 5th. 5th. I got something on the 6th, so it's going to have to be Wednesday. 5th. I got a dinner with my church, but yeah, is that cool? Wednesday? Yeah. So we'll be back next Wednesday night. Justin will be with us, talking all the latest sports, get you ready, talk about some training camp and some more NFL season previews, getting you ready for the season. And we'll review what happened this Sunday and Saturday and Sunday at SummerSlam. So a lot going on. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week for another edition. Cal and I'm Larry. Get off the damn fence.